welcome back. So before we proceed to the next topic, which is NumPy, so let us test first what you have learned throughout the duration of this course. So for this exercise 1, we'll be answering question or completing task outlined below. So use the specific method described if applicable. So I want you to take note, we will use here Alt-Enter to execute the code so as not to overwrite some of the items in the notebook. So I hope you're excited to do this exercise. So let's do it now. So the first question is, what is 7 to the power of 4? So, you will use 2 asterisks for the power, if you remember that. So 7 to the power of 4. So again, we use Alt-Enter. I repeat again, Alt-Enter. So 7 to the power of 4 is 2401. So another question here is the 13th root of 358. So that's easy. So 358, you use also the power, but this time you reciprocate it by 1. So 113. So that will result in the 13th root of 358. So we use again Alt-Enter. Okay, so that is the answer is 1.571999 and so on. Okay, so next, second question. So split the string below into a list. So if you remember, so we are using methods here. So if you're not familiar with this one, so don't go directly executing this one because you have to define this first. Okay, so you copy this one, then paste, then Alt-Enter again. Okay, so if you have S and you press dot and you want to know more about the methods, so again, there's split. So if you want to know the documentation, Shift Tab. So the split method accept 2 parameters. Okay, by default we will use the blank one. So S dot split. So Alt-Enter. I'm sorry about that. So Alt-Enter. So if you split the string, it will make it into a list separated by spaces. So I think this is enough. Okay. So number 3. So given the variables planet, Jupiter, diameter 139,820, use dot format to print the following string. So the output must be this one. So the diameter of Jupiter is 139,890. So we just copy here. Of course, you have to define the variable first. Then we will use print formatting. So print, it says the diameter of blank is blank again. Then we use the print formatting. So format, let's say planet, and its diameter. Okay. So Alt-Enter. So the diameter of Jupiter is 139,820. Okay, so far so good. Okay, so the fourth number tests your ability to grab index or splicing and indexing. So for this one, here we will grab the word target for each set of list. So if you are not confident to do it in one line, so since this is an exercise, so you can do it one by one. Okay, so for list 1, so remember to count the indexing. Okay, so this one is 0, 1, 2, 3. So the target is included in this nested list. So you define index 3 first. So then Alt-Enter. So we have 4, 5, 6 and ABC. So you count again. So probably you copy this. Copy. And you paste. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3. So another 3. So we press Alt Enter. Okay. So next one. So I think this is an index tree also. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So we will arrive at the target value. Okay. Okay. So let's proceed to the second list. So this example is a very deep nested list. So I have started an answer here. So list to index tree. So why? So this is 0, 1, 2, 3. So if we execute this one, so we have 4, 5, but we're interested with list here with A because the target is included here. So again, so list 2, index 3, then we have 2. So again, Alt Enter so that we will not replace the third example. Okay, so we have another list. So list 2, 3, 2 again. Then we'll count the 0, 1, 2, 3. Then we have 3. So Alt Enter. Let's Alt Enter more so that to make sure we will not replace this line. So we just copy, paste. So we count 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got index 4 here. So again, Alt Enter. So one more. This one is index 1. So that's index 1. So we have Alt Enter. So we have arrived already at the target. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 levels deep before we reach the target. So let's move on. So again, Shift Enter. So we'll grab the target once again for this list 3. So index 3 again. So let's try this one by one straight line. So that's 3 we have here. Then the next one is we have index 1 right here. Then 0, 1, 2, 3. We have index 3. The next 0, 1, 2, 3. We have also index 3. Then we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have index 4. Then for the last one, we have index 1. So I hope this is correct. Yes, so that's correct. So you practiced doing one line if you want to save additional coding. So we have arrived at the target at this one. So we use the idea of doing it in one line. But again, if you're not comfortable with this, you do it one by one. Okay. So the next one. So we have a dictionary. So we will index a dictionary. So we will grab the word tricky. So again, let's execute this. So Alt Tab. So D1 will be grabbing, for sure we're grabbing here K2. So again, Alt Tab. So this one. So D1, K2. Then we have K3. So Alt Enter. So we arrive at the word tricky. But it's not tricky. It's easy. Okay. So next. So again, Alt Tab to execute the code. So D2. So we'll go straight to K2. Okay. So Alt Tab. So D2, our key is K2. Then we have another key since this is a dictionary. So let's do it one by one. So we have K3. Then the item in the K3 is a list. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So it's index 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so Alt Enter. So we arrive at the word tricky once again. So the next one, now this one is very tricky. So Alt Enter. So D3, but I'm confident you can do this if you try the exercises. So D3, so all is included in K1. K1. Okay. So Alt Enter. So the next one is we have index 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So D3. So K1 we have index 3 because it's a list. So Alt Enter. Then we have a key now of hello because this one is a dictionary. So again, you enter the key of hello. So Alt Enter. So we have a list once again. So 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So you copy this one. Then index 3. So Alt Enter. Okay. So we have key is. So again, you copy this one. So copy, paste this one. We have a key of is. So again, Alt Enter. Then we have a list, which is 0, 1, 2, 3. So the last one will be index 3. So we can grab the word tricky. The simple trick, but it's not just tricky. Okay, it's easy pa rin. So save. So number 6, given the string below, grab the following words. So okay, so let's copy this one. Okay, so Alt Enter once again. So grab the word programming. So this is just string indexing. So you count from 0, of course. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Remember, the end value is not included. So you will end here at 11 for sure. So Alt Enter. So that's programming. Okay, another one, ST. So we grab data science. If this is 11, so this is 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So you start at 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. So we will end up at 28. So again, Alt Enter. So it's data science. So how about you grab the last one? Okay. So if you count from here, so I think you will count a lot. But since this is at the end, so we can use a negative value here. So for example, I will just try an example. If we try this one, so st -1, it will grab the last e. Okay. So how can you select this one starting from the right? So how about this one? If I grab -7, so what will be the result? So it's A, it's here. So why? -1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So what we want to do is grab the -7, so starting from the beginning. Okay, so let's try this one. So Alt, Enter. Oh, that's awesome. It's really awesome. You can work indexing from the right side. So it just means that -7, but I start from the outermost right side. So this one, 0, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -7. Okay, there's no -0 here. So let's try that one. Okay, so let's try that one. So Alt Enter. So that's an error. So how about 0? Okay, that's an error because 0 means you're starting from here. So you just leave it blank. Okay, so -7. You can also do this, but if you start from 0, you will count a lot. So since this one is very close to the right side, I will use a negative indexing number. Okay, it's really awesome. So we have so many lines here now because we are doing Alt Tab. So again, to delete this one, you press double D consecutively. Okay, so that's the shortcut. If you don't want the shortcut, you edit and you cut the cells. Okay, so let's save this first. So number 7, create a function. So we will define a function that grabs the email website domain from a string. So this means that we will create a function that only grabs the domain name for the email. So how can we do that? So we define a function. Okay, so define def or defining function in Python. Let's name this how about domain, and we have a parameter of email. So colon, remember we use colon in Python to define the function. So we will print, of course we pass already the email. Then if you remember the split, we'll be splitting at the at character. Okay, then we will index it at 1. So I will explain later why. Okay, so Alt Enter. We have an invalid syntax here. So usually I don't define this one. So we have a error here in the split. Oh, I forgot this one. I forgot the string quotations. Okay, we have a single quote. So let's do this. So grab domain. So we have to pass the information at slsu.edu.ph. So we will print. So we grab this one. So still the same. If you change this one, probably abc at, for example, at gmail.com. So we will grabbing the Gmail. Okay. So what we're doing here is if we're splitting the list at the at character. Remember, split converts a string into list. So for example, let me demonstrate it. Maybe this code will enlighten you. So for example, you have a string of information at slsu.edu.ph. So for example, okay, and you want to split this one. So s.split. So remember the split will convert this into a list. But this time, if you provide a parameter, so we will split this one right here at the at sign. Okay, so Alt Enter. So now you have two items on the list. One information and one slsu.edu.ph. So again, if you count this one, this is 0, index 0, then this is index 1. That's why we have to provide an index of 1 to get the value of slsu.edu. So this one, so we utilize this one at the inside the grab domain function. Okay, so these are the explanation. So again, if you change this one about Hotmail, you have user, for example, so the same. So we'll have the same result. Okay, so shift enter. So the same. We're grabbing the domain. Okay. So again, let's remove. So double D or cut cell. So let's save again. Best practice also. So another one is we create a function that returns true of the word dog. Okay, so do not worry about here edge cases like punctuation being attached to the word dog, but do account for capitalization. So my tip here is the parameter you will pass into the string, you convert it to lowercase. So let's have the definition. So definition. So we will get the dog string. Okay. So return. So it specifically says that returns. So return. Remember the in operator? Yes, we will do that here. So in string dot lower. So what you have passed to the string, I would just convert it into lowercase. Then the beauty of here in Python is you can chain methods. So this is a legal way. If you're familiar with jQuery in the JavaScript, that's a JavaScript library. So you can also here chain methods. Okay, so let's execute this one. So Alt Enter. Okay, so get dog. For example, I have this term. How much is that dog in the window? Okay, so Alt Enter. So we're only returning here true or false value. So how about I change this one into cat? Okay, so Alt Enter. So it will return false. So we're concerned only if the string has a dog word on it. So Alt Enter. Okay, so again, let's delete some excess cells. So press double D. Okay, so next one, create a function that counts the number of times a cat, the word cat, of course, into the string. So how will you do this one? Okay, so we will use a definition with a for loop. And inside the for loop, maybe there's an if statement to compare the string that we passed if it has a cat word on it. So again, let's define this one. So def, let's name it cat count. So let's pass st for string. Okay. So let's define an initiator variable. So count. So for count is equal to 0. Then for, remember, we will use a temporary variable here. So my temporary variable here is word. Word in the parameter. We pass the st parameter, which is again lower. Then we will split this one so that it will become a list. Okay. So if word is equivalent to, let's say, for example, cat. Okay. So remember your if statement, the tabbing. So maybe we increment the count. So count plus 1. Then for the for statement, so remember, I will place here return. Then we have count. Okay, so let's execute. So for example, we have cat count. So we passed a parameter of cat, bat, cat, dog. So we're expecting the return value of 3 because I have a cat 3 times that occur here in the specific string inside the parameter. Okay, so how about I change this one to dog? Okay, so shift enter. Okay, so how about I change this to bat? So shift enter. So it's counting 1. So it will not be the same if you place in an exclamation point. So I think this will result to 0 because we're only concerned with CAT. Now, if you want to really count the occurrence of cat, although it is exclamation point, we have a separate topic for that. We will use a regular expression. Okay, I will just type down if you want to study it in advance. So we will use regular expressions. But for now, since we are defining a simple function. So I think this is enough. Okay. So cat count is equivalent to 2. So we have 2 cats in here. Okay. So next one. So number 10. So use lambda expressions and the filter function to filter out words from a list that do not start with the letter S. So basically what we're doing here is to exclude words that starts with letter S. So how can we do that? Okay, so of course let's define the sequence first. Okay, so paste. So we were using lambda expressions here. So remember, lambda expressions is just an anonymous function. Okay, so we will use lambda in filter, then we pipe it into a list. Okay, so lambda. Okay, so let's pass a parameter of word also. Then we're concerned with the word index 0. So why? So we're concerned if the word is starting with letter S or not. Okay, so since this is a list, okay, and string can be indexed also, so we're interested here if the word is starting with S. If not, we will exclude that one. So if word index 0 is not equivalent to S, okay, so that's a lambda function, but this time we will use a filter function. But before that, let me map it first so that you will understand better what filter is doing. So we have a sequence here, then we pipe it from a list. So if you remember, we have a list function. So whatever the result of this will be piped down into a list. Okay, so Alt Enter. So we have false, true, true, false, false, true. So the map usually do that. So why? So S is starting, the shelter is starting with S, so that's false. So we're concerned with words that do not start with S. So CAT do not start with S. DOG do not start with S, but shell start with S, so this one is false. So this one is false also. So the last one, bird, is true. So what the filter is doing is to filter out the value. So it will not result to Boolean values, but the values itself. So for example, so we execute this at Alt Enter. So yes, this one is the correct syntax. So as you can see, number 10, this is also the same. So we use lambda expression. You can use definition or function, but the instruction here is to use a lambda expression. Okay, so let's move, but before we move again, so let's delete some code cells. So this is the last one before we proceed to the NumPy section. So I hope you're excited for the NumPy. So for the last problem, so let me read the problem. You are driving a little too fast. A police officer stops you. Write a function to return one of 3 possible results. So first one, no ticket, small ticket, or big ticket. If your speed is 60 or less, that means less than 60 or less. The result is no ticket. If speed is between 61 and 80, so inclusive of 80, the result is small ticket. If speed is 81 or more, greater than or equal to 81, the result is big ticket. So we have a condition here. Unless it is your birthday, encoded as a Boolean value in the parameter of the function. On your birthday, your speed can be 5 higher in all cases. It means that you're allowed to speed 5 times, 5 higher, not 5 times. You're allowed to speed 5 higher in all cases. So let us write the function. So we define function. Let's define this as speeding test. So of course, our first parameter is speed. Then the one, let's say the second parameter is it your birthday? So that's the one. So we have first condition first, if is birthday. So if it is your birthday, so we will define a variable here. Speeding is equivalent to speed minus 5. Although this one is higher, so we will subtract it by 5. Means that you are allowed to speed plus 5. Okay? So next one, else. If it is not your birthday, so your speeding will be your speed, your normal speed. Then we have also the condition for how much speeding you have done. So if speeding is greater than or equivalent to 81, okay, so we will return let's say big ticket. So you violate a lot, so you have a big ticket. So else if, so in Python, elif, okay, so if speeding is uh, greater than or equivalent to 60, okay, so we will return, let's see, I think small ticket. Okay, so the last statement, else, so this one is return. If you're not speeding, of course you will have no ticket. Okay, so let us execute this. So alt enter. Okay, so we will use this one. So I'll just copy here. So copy, paste. So what is your speed? So for example, I'm speeding way above. So I'm expecting I have a big ticket, but it's my birthday. So for example, okay, so speeding test, it's my birthday. So alt enter. Okay, so I have an error here. Speed ng is not defined. So here, okay. So again, let's execute this again. So shift enter. Then this one, alt enter. Okay. So although I speed beyond the normal of big ticket, but it's my birthday, so 81 minus 5, I will just fall into small ticket. But it's not, if it is not my birthday, example false, so alt enter, I will have a big ticket. So that means I will pay a lot. So for example, I have 60 and it's not my birthday. So false again. So I will have a small ticket. But if it is my birthday, okay, so true. So I get a free pass. I will have no ticket. Although I'm speeding, okay, at 60 and it's my birthday, so I will have no ticket. So I hope you understand the exercises. If you're having a hard time answering the exercises, maybe you need to watch again the video to reinforce what you have learned. It's okay to replay the video. So we are on a flexible learning mode. So please, if you don't understand, you can send me a message in Facebook or you can rewatch the video. So thank you again for listening and I hope I will see you in the next lesson. We'll be discussing about the NumPy. Now we're starting for the data science proper because NumPy is a very useful Python library for data science. So again, see you again in the next lecture.